Good evening, everyone. Call to order for the regular board meeting of February 28, 2014, District 81, at 7 p.m. Roll call, please.
Marianne Stuckey.
Here.
Allison Downs.
Here.
Tina Lonio here. Richard Flanagan.
Here.
Pat Gottschalski. Here. John Kowalski.
Here.
David Sakura.
Yes.
Also in attendance is Dr. Kim Borszewski, Mr. Jeremy Dodson, Ms. Kim Schwein, Ms. Kathy Brandt, Mr. Eric Humples, Mrs. Melissa Kartsimas, Ms. Constance Stavro, Dr. Kristen Kapta, Mrs. Donna Magnoli, Mr. Brian Amsler, Mrs. Rula Bajan, and Mrs. Louise Stopper, and Margaret Christopoulos.
Okay, pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Consent agenda. I would like to entertain a motion that the Board of Education establish the consent agenda items as presented. Moved by Mrs. Borszewski. Second by Tina.
I would like to have the attorney bills removed and listed separately.
Speak up.
I wanted to have the attorney bill removed from the list and listed separately for a vote. Second.
Any other questions?
The Ansel and Lee bill, yes.
Okay, call the roll. Ready.
Downs,
Yes.
Lonio, I guess I'll see Downs, Flanagan,
Yes.
Gottschalski, no. Kowalski,
No.
Satura,
No.
Stuckey,
Yes.
Motion failed.
How surprising.
Okay, we have roll call on the rules of the video. Any other questions on the bill list?
I couldn't hear what you said.
We're going to remove the Ansel and Claims bill from the agenda and vote on it separately.
Thank you.
Use the microphone, please.
We're going to remove the Ansel and Claims bill from the agenda and vote on it separately.
And I said thank you. Yes, you did.
Sorry, folks, to make it all legal, we have to reword the motion so that we know exactly, or you guys know exactly what we're voting on. So
We have extra chairs in front if anybody wants to sit
Consent
down.
agenda minus the answered link bill. So you need to establish the consent agenda minus the answered link bill. Take a roll to approve it. And then you'll have discussion on the items removed from the consent agenda. And then you'll vote on those items to approve those.
So we need a motion to establish the consent agenda minus the cancel bill. And someone by that.
Motion by Mrs. Bonish.
We can't hear you. You have a microphone. Please put your mouth next to it so we can hear you.
I'm
Please,
sorry, Kimber.
please use the microphone.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Anytime, Dave, we can hear you, but the ladies have a quieter voice.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion by Mrs. Godashevsky, a second by Tina. Any other? Okay, call the roll.
Downs,
Yes.
Valani, yes. Flanagan,
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Kowalski.
Yes.
Ventura.
Yes.
Destaki.
Yes.
Motion passes.
That was to establish.
We made it, consent agenda.
I would like to entertain a motion that the Board of Education establish the consent agenda. Approve the consent agenda as amended.
Also move.
No, just to be clear, first we have to establish the consent agenda, and after it's established, we have to approve the consent agenda. So as the consent agenda stands right now, is to pay, it is to approve the minutes, to pay the bills, and to pay the payroll, less the Ansel Link bill. So now we're gonna vote on doing that. Okay, now.
Motion by Mrs. Godashevsky, a second by Tina. Any questions?
So this is just to establish the consent.
No, we've already established, the motion on the floor is that the
This is
Board of
to pay the
Education
bills,
approve
minus
the
Ansel Link.
Consent agenda.
as presented. So it's the minutes, the payroll, the bills, less Ansel.
Okay.
Downs,
Yes.
Kawani, yes. Flanagan,
Yes.
Kaczynski,
Yes.
Kowalski,
Yes.
Ventura.
Yes.
Stucky, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
You said it? Discussion and potential action for items removed from the consent agenda. We need a motion. Okay, we need a motion to bring the Ansel Link bills to the table.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Moved by Mary Ann, second by Rich. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Downs,
No.
Guanio, yes. Flanagan,
No.
Kaczynski,
Yes.
Kowalski,
Yes.
Ventura,
Yes.
Teseki.
No.
Motion passed.
Okay, so we just moved this back to the table.
I thought it was full.
No.
Okay. Maybe we read the motion then again? We read it.
Oh, sure. I would like to make a motion that we pay the Ansel Link bill on, to pay the current Ansel Link bill.
I'll second.
Motion by Tina, second by Pat. Pay the Ansel Link bill. Any questions?
Okay, so the motion we're voting on is that the Board of Education pay the
I
current.
have one question. Can you just tell me what the amount of it was for this month?
I don't know, 6,660.
$6,768.45.
For just this month?
It's on the February bill.
That's what's on the February bill.
Okay, thank you.
Downs,
No.
Guanio, yes. Flanagan,
No, but I'd like to state something for the record. I don't feel comfortable paying this bill until they start being a little bit more transparent about what the items on the bill represent. Many items are just labeled generic discussion about this, discussion about that, with the president, with the vice president, things that are never really brought to our attention as board members. And until I see more transparency in that bill, I'm going to continue to vote no to pay Ansel Link's bill.
Kaczynski,
Yes.
Kowalski,
Yes.
Ventura,
Yes.
Teseki.
No.
Motion passes.
Okay, public participation. I'm going to go a little out of the ordinary, and I'm going to read a statement that I have drawn up. I'm going to the audience. I'm not just starting a half hour. I'll step off. No problem. For everybody, the board, myself, people in the audience. David Stitcher, 10130 Berthold Schiller Park. Before public comment tonight, I would like to...
Use the mic.
Can't hear you.
You! Before public comment tonight, I would like to discuss several issues that seem to be tearing this community apart. These represent my personal views, not the views of the board. I was elected, along with all the other board members, to represent the district in the best manner possible. As with many legislative bodies, sometimes, but not always, there is a division on this board, and there is a philosophical differences. In any normal democracy, differing opinions are tolerated. They should be tolerated here too. The board has been the subject of much criticism lately by people who do not have the facts or correct information. I would like to set the record straight on some of these issues that have been addressed previously in public comment. First, I'd like to discuss the McCampbell family, because numerous public comments at our meetings have been about this family. The McCampbells are a family out of hundreds who have students in our school. The issue that their students and their family have with the district are private issues, to the extent that they have raised concerns about how these issues are handled by the district's administration. They have the right to raise those concerns and to have them addressed by the school board. The private issues involving their children in this district are not an appropriate subject for the public at school board meetings. To the extent that this family has been wronged by the administration, they have the ability to have any wrongdoings corrected just as any other family would. If the administration has done incorrect or illegal things related to the family, and the district has to incur the legal fees to correct these things. It is not the fault of the family, it is the fault of the administration. We will certainly hope... I don't want to write board meetings or one like they are.
Aren't you part of the administration?
Yes, I am.
Why are you bringing this up at the board meeting?
Because it's a board issue. Sir, you can fill out a pamphlet if you want to come up here to talk, then it's your turn. District has to incur legal fees to correct these things. It is not the fault of the family, it is the fault of the administration. While we certainly hope to curtail legal fees related to improper activities our administration has done related to his family, this will not happen until the administration complies with the laws and rights related to his family. You do not have all the facts regarding the issues between his family and the district, and we do not discuss them publicly. Therefore, to protect the district from further legal liability, as board president, I will no longer entertain any public comments related to this individual family or their students in this district, nor about any other family with students in this district. Secondly, I would like to discuss the ABC group. We have not received any information that this group is a legal, not-for-profit entity, nor that it is affiliated with any national or state parent-teacher association. I have investigated and learned that the superintendent and the principal who issued the consent form to this group did not follow the district's written policies. If any parent-teacher group wants to organize, that is fine, but we need to revisit the policy of the district's facilities not being followed by the administration. Third, I want to address the repeated false statements that have been made about our law firm, Ansel & Blank. The law firm has never been fired from any public body for overbilling. This is absolutely false. The firm has advised us that if any member of the public continues to slander the members of the firm by continuing to make repeated statements, false statements, that they will be found in a defamation action against any person making false statements anymore. Second, the law firm does not have a conflict of interest related to the McCampbell family. Instead, to avoid the appearance of a conflict of interest, the firm suggested that we have a separate firm represent the district so that there will be no precipitation of conflict. The school board chose to do that. If the community is upset with having two law firms, the board can decide to get rid of one law firm and just use Ansel & Blank, the one that we use. Third, in regarding law fees, the law firm does not cause legal fees. It is the action of the administration that causes legal fees, as well as the actions of the public by submitting FOIAs that cause legal fees. FOIAs have been submitted by both political factions in the community. So we decide and equally point the finger at each other at the cost of legal fees and administrative time spent responding to FOIAs. Fourth, the firm has charged less in legal fees than fees that were charged to the district by law firms in previous years. Get the facts straight. School boards will always have legal fees. And if you want them reduced, the administration needs to comply with the laws. Next, I want to discuss the cancellation of the last meeting. There have been several misrepresentations about where people were, as well as false statements that board members were conveniently sick and didn't tell the superintendent until the last minute. The facts are as follows. I worked nights. I've been a night my whole life. I was notified by my employer that I was required to work late that night. I informed the superintendent at some time in the afternoon. Second, Dina had bronchitis and was unable to attend. She informed the superintendent fairly clearly that day. Also, Pat was not feeling well, but was planning to attend the meeting. Unfortunately, as the day progressed, she was feeling worse and was unable to attend. John was unable to attend because he had a conflict of interest with his employment. While the individual board members did not know they did not know there was not going to be a quorum, the superintendent, the Open Meetings Act does not permit electronic participation or voting by phone under these circumstances when there is no policy.
Dave, you're over your 5 minutes.
By a lot.
Way over.
By a lot.
Way over 5
Right.
minutes.
Okay.
Maybe a couple of minutes ago.
Okay.
Board policy does allow for electronic.
Yes, it does. If you are at work.
If you're at work.
Okay.
Please understand, this is not the intention or the understanding of the entire board. This is a matter of the entire board.
Hey, did you fill out one of these to talk?
I don't think I need to.
You went over
Oh, you don't need to.
Call the roll yourself.
She's on the board.
I don't know why this is like this.
It's like Minecraft.
Well, Dave, you have to read who's next for audience participation off of the sheets that were handed in.
You're a Bloomquist.
My name is Karen Blomquist. I live at 9879 Garden Court. I am here tonight representing the ABC Parent Group and to get some issues out in the open that is facing our group. We had submitted a facility request for a room so that the members of our group could provide free child care, so other parents that want to attend our school board meetings could do so. Our request was denied by a majority of this board. We resubmitted the request in hope that the board would reconsider and welcome parents at a school board meeting. After being denied a second time and seeing the FOIA that was submitted on behalf of the ABC group, we realized that we were denied based on the belief that some of you think that this board, the ABC Parent Group, is a political group. I have 4 children in this school district. From the very first day that I dropped my oldest daughter off at school, the teacher gently pried my hands from my crying little girl and looked at me in the eye and promised me that she would be okay. I knew that then we had some very special and caring teachers working in this district. Over the last 8 years, my level of respect and appreciation has grown not only for the teachers, but for all of the employees in this district. Let me tell you what Kennedy School means to me. Kennedy School is safe. It's welcoming. It's all smiles and high fives and hugs. It's hello friends when they walk in the door. It's eyes up and Kennedy Covey chants at monthly assemblies to honor our children for doing good and making good decisions in and outside of school. It's bubbles in your mouth and crisscross applesauce, rock bottom. I trust this staff with my babies, from the janitor that smiles at them as he walks down the hall to the lunch ladies that keep my kids' tummies full while they're away from home. Teachers sending my kids "I'm proud you" notes and pats on the back. And the ladies in the office telling me that they hope my kid feels better when I call them in sick. It amazes me that there are over 750 children in this school. Mrs. Maglione, Mrs. Kartsimis, know them all by name. And they have this amazing way to get them to come together and respect each other. I couldn't ask for anything better than that. 4th and 5th grade is an adjustment, and it's even harder when you have a mom that's not willing to let go of her baby. Independence, strength, love, and responsibility. I couldn't do it without the help of Washington School. And after all, they have a hard job of preparing 265 kids to jump into junior high. Again, the teachers and the staff at Washington have been absolutely amazing in helping 2 of our 4 children in this difficult transition. And I believe that that is due to the wonderful leadership of Kristen Kapta. Let me just touch on Lincoln Junior High. My oldest is only in 6th grade, so we've just scratched the surface of what Lincoln has to offer. But holy hormones. I'm having a hard time with 1 preteen at home. I could not possibly handle 396 of them on a daily basis. It takes a very special group of people to handle this, and I gladly take notes. Again, the transition to junior high can be very scary, but we have always been welcomed, and the staff administrators here have been very helpful, and the communication is wonderful. Mrs. Staub and Mr. Amsler have done an incredible job in making our children feel welcome, safe, and that they belong here. Ever since my oldest was in kindergarten, I wanted to be a part of a parent group. The ABC group was started to develop relationships with other parents, to brainstorm ideas to help improve and strengthen the bonds between teachers, parents, and students. Our parent group has been accused of being political, and I said it before, and I will say it again. We want to support the teachers, the administrators, and anyone else who helps provide a great education environment for our children. We want to be able to work hand in hand with our school board. We again invite, and I have invited in the past, you all to come to the ABC meetings. You have no right to judge if you're not there what happens in this group. It is not political. My concern is in the past that you have not denied any other group to use this building. And now we have approved facility requests for the next 3 school board meetings at our usual time of 6 o'clock before the school board meetings. We also have an approved facility request for our vendor fair, which is March 8th, next Saturday. If you or your lawyer can find any reason that we will not be able to continue this, you need to let me know immediately. For the month of March, our plans are March 8th is the vendor fair, March 14th is the first teacher appreciation lunch put on by the parents at Kennedy School, and then March 19th is the ABC parent meeting at 6 o'clock. In closing, last August, I was sitting in the backyard with my husband, and I was telling him how lucky we are that each of our children again seem to have the perfect teacher for them. And he looked at me and he smiled and he said, "Carrie, you say that every year." We have come to the realization that we just have great teachers, great administrators. They're helping us create helpful, confident, smart children. And I'm proud to support the teachers and the administrators and the staff here at District 81. And I want to be able to support the board.
Hey, Karen,
Yes, sir?
I have no problem with your group coming in, but when they start handing out literature,
May I address you?
go ahead. I'm not, it came last Wednesday night.
It may have been. I have no control over that.
Well,
I have control over what happens in my group. And as I told you before, none of the parents from the ABC group handed that out. And as you know, how many parents were here last week? You wouldn't know that because you weren't here, but there's over 100
I
parents.
was at work.
I understand that, but there was over 100 parents here.
Well, local stuff derogatory to the
It was
board,
not from me.
et cetera.
It was not from me, and it was not from anybody in the ABC school group.
Okay. Start now.
We are now 4318 Wesley Terrace. I come to you today solely as a parent of District 81. I was late arrival for these meetings. I was not here in May when the new board took position. You know, I have a few things on here that I was going to bring up that I think are pointless to bring up. I think they're things that have already been addressed 100 times. We all know what they are. So I'm going to move to the part that's the most important to me and jump over the rest. I'm here today because I want to talk about parents, teachers, and the board. Certain members of this board voted to have the second public participation removed from the meetings and revised board policy to reflect that. We can't get the answers that we're looking for. If we pose a question, we may get an answer, never immediate, generally via the website. More than once, meetings have been canceled and rescheduled, and in my opinion, simply to divert the parents and village members that come from being involved. There are members of this board who have openly admitted to not wanting parent participation at all. Now denying the use of a room in the school so child care can be provided for more parents to attend. I would like this board to explain why certain members are working so diligently to keep parents away and uninformed. Because in my opinion, the only people who are mad at you for speaking the truth are those who are living a lie. I recently saw a FOIA about ABC Parent Group requesting use of the facility, and what I saw sickened me. No, strike that, it broke my heart. Words being used like unruly, unsafe, radical. It was heartbreaking to me that anyone sitting on any school board would even use such a word to describe a parents group who only want to acknowledge, respect, appreciate, and care for the children, teachers, administration, and believe it or not, even the school board. To have a member of the board praise the lawyer for her behavior last week. You chose or were unable, for yourselves, I'll say chose, not to show up for the school board meeting last week. You chose not to be here to support the children who got up and gave their amazing Annie presentation. However, I did choose to be here, and I did have my daughter with me. And I had to send her away because of the antics of your lawyer. To praise her for lying to the Sherwood Park Police Department, to praise her for exposing our children to fear. A child should never be taught to fear being in a school building or to see anything from a police department but protection and safety. That is what your lawyer exposed our children and our parents to, and you praise her. In closing, let me say I've gotten up and spoken at the school board meeting before. I have also gotten up and spoken at the village board meeting. I have been fairly vocal about my concerns, but I have never asked for anything but for us to work together. I have never was a mudslinger. I never asked for anybody's removal. I never asked for anybody to have any disciplinary action. All I have ever asked was for us to come together and work in the best interest of the kids in the school district. But I can assure you this, I'm not going away. As I stated last time when I came up here, I will get up and speak every meeting if that is what I need to do. I will canvass the streets of Sherwood Park, informing anybody who will listen as to what is really going on in District 81. I will call every organization out there, make daily calls to everybody from Pat Quinn to the Pope if I need to. I will never give up on this. I will continue to do everything in my power to help create an honest, fair, healthy environment for the children, teachers, and administration of District 81. My child is my everything, so I will give anything, and I will never stop protecting.
Diane Cafaro.
Thank you.
Schiller Park School Board. Diana Cafaro.
There you go.
3735 Emerson, Schiller Park, Illinois. This is so hard for me to do this way. It's been almost 1 year since the last election for school board in District 81. Some members of this board ran as top 4 candidates for District 81. A campaign touting budget cuts, increased transparency, and saving the taxpayers money. According to the top 4 candidates for District 81 Facebook page, there was a fundraiser at Mike O'Donnell's Irish Pub in Franklin Park. I don't know how reliable this source is, but I was curious and looked up the political organization. I can't find them listed as an official political organization, yet it was advertised and attended by individuals on this board. Is there a different name that I should look for? Upon results of the election, new officers were chosen, and a newly appointed president took charge with his first official action, a motion to hire this law firm to protect the interests of his new board. Previously, this law firm represented persons, no names, who took a settlement taking over $100,000 from the district. I have that on FOIA, so it's not. This should have been seen as a gross conflict of interest. Instead, they are here, charging us all, mostly for services related to individuals that attended the fundraising event at Mike O'Donnell's. The second official action limited the public participation at board meetings. In the time since the election, we have seen legal bills that have skyrocketed, a decrease in transparency, an increase in budget spending approved, an increase in the asking tax, another increase in the asking tax levy. This will cost us more, and our tax bills will increase. I have seen trust and confidence falter, and educators seek and get employment outside of this district. I look back at what has happened since then, and I have to shake my head. Encouragingly, I have also witnessed the administration of the district continuing to run the district in spite of the dysfunctional manner that the board is operating. Band performances, school plays, after-school programs, athletics, quality transportation, technology integration, hot lunches, maintenance, record keeping, social-emotional support, and most importantly, quality teaching continues in the district. By supporting all of these, we, as a district, acknowledge and respect that student success should be the subject of all matters before us. Student education is the purpose of the district, and rarely do I hear the current board talk about what plans are in place for increased student achievement. I would like to know more about the school's improvement plans, and I look forward to an official survey of the stakeholders in the district. We should be working together with the implementation of the new Common Core standards in District 81. Everyone should participate in the school improvement plan to ensure that our students are prepared for the world. I am proud of the work done by so many in the district to benefit the children of Schiller Park and Franklin Park. So many people believe that this new board was the right choice for District 81. What I have seen in the district since the election has not shown me that, but I am ever hopeful that things will get better. And you, board individually and as a board, will stand up for the students, parents, teachers, and taxpayers of Schiller Park and Franklin Park. I am hopeful that this misdirected self-interest agenda of the board under the current president will not continue. It can't. People are scared, sad, upset. That's not right. I ask for compassion and respect for the community that we represent.
Ms. O'Gorick.
My name is Ariel Gork, and I am one of many former District 81 students that have become actively involved in this school community. I am here to speak to you about the significance of having positive role models in your life and how 3 people sitting here today, besides my parents, have changed the course of my life and helped shape the person I have become today. To say that I have become a teacher because of Mr. Brian Ambler, Ms. Tina Stavru, and Dr. Kimberly Borshevsky is an understatement. The passion I have for teaching and inspiring children to want to take better care of themselves, both physically and mentally, is a direct result of having Mr. Ambler as both my teacher and my coach. As my coach, he taught me to never give up on myself and to push myself beyond limits I never thought I was capable of doing. Ms. Stavru and Dr. Borshevsky have helped me grow into a confident and assertive young woman that I am today. These 2 amazing women have both played an instrumental role in teaching me how to believe in myself, trust my ideas, and to have faith in my creativity as a teacher. Most importantly, they have taught me how to use my voice when it comes to working collaboratively with my colleagues and communicating with my students and their parents. These 3 administrators continue to inspire me each and every day in ways that are immeasurable. They have always made me feel valued and that I have a purpose in this world. The lessons they have taught me about integrity, confidence, and being positive are lessons that I continue to pass along to my very own students. I am just one example of the hundreds of lives that these 3 people have undoubtedly had an influence on. John Adams stated that if your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and become more, you are a leader. Dr. Borshevsky, Mr. Ambler, and Ms. Stavru are leaders in every sense of the word. I felt it was important and necessary, given the current climate, for this board to see the impact positive leadership can have on both students and employees. My greatest hope is that I have an impact on my students the way these 3 remarkable individuals have had an impact on me. Thank you.
Kitch?
Kitch, are you going to drop the last name just like Cher? Kitch.
My name is Kitch Korzinski. I live at 4267 Gray Street in Schiller Park. I've been a resident since 1978. I'm here tonight as a very concerned resident. I find it very fitting that we are in a building dedicated to Abraham Lincoln, who said in 1864, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." Clearly, this house is divided and something needs to be done. I came here last Wednesday to appeal to this board to stop this madness, to ask you to meet us halfway, assembling a group of parents, residents, board members, to try and sort out why this board is so dysfunctional. When I arrived, I saw 4 empty chairs, which were a stark reminder that you are not living up to the oath that you swore to almost a year ago. I knew Tina was ill and not expected to be present, but to think that 3 of you were so suddenly indisposed just prior to the beginning of an important meeting
is an insult to the intelligence of the stakeholders here. You were elected on a platform of fiscal responsibility, transparency, and frequent, clear communication. Your actions do not back up those promises. You seem determined to find malfeasance within the district, but to date have not provided any details, evidence, or proof. I have no faith in investigations organized by a law firm that seems to favor opinions of the board majority. I would welcome any sort of scrutiny if an impartial party was involved. Under your watch, this district has been paralyzed, the district office paralyzed by constant FOIAs, while district staff has been inundated by hundreds and hundreds of emails that distract from the primary focus of educating our children. To add insult to injury, your attorney insisted the police be summoned to break up an illegal union meeting. As stated in the police report, she was evasive when questioned, and the officer found no illegal union meeting in progress. Just concerned parents who deserved better treatment than they received. One parent commented that he left the country of his birth to get away from police intimidation and was shocked to be exposed to it in his child's school. As a follow-up to this travesty, parents are now being denied the use of this facility, which was paid for with our tax dollars. These tactics are a form of bullying, and just last week, I attended an assembly organized by 2 fifth-grade students on this very topic. They observed a classmate being mistreated, and they began a campaign to raise awareness among their peers. They asked me if I would accept a wristband that says, "Operation Take a Stand." By wearing it, I was taking a pledge not to be a bystander to any form of bullying behavior. Little did I know that a situation would arise to put this pledge to the test. I promised to be an upstander if a situation called for it, and I am encouraging parents and residents who are concerned about the action of this board to take a similar pledge, and I would love to see hundreds of red wristbands on citizens and residents all through this community to signify our unity to demand accountability from this board. For many years, I worked very closely with a great educator, Diane Surgis, and she taught me to always consider children first, do whatever it takes, and work together to make a difference in the lives of those we touch. One of her favorite quotations was the words of Margaret Mead: "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." I think those citizens are behind me, and I realize it's up to us.
The board is still divided.
Jeremy Hargis.
Jeremy Hargis, 3733 Scott Street. Let's get right to it. As you all are very aware, last Wednesday the board meeting was canceled because of 4 members of the board that could not attend. The meeting had never officially started, but to be clear, the superintendent did her duty and informed everyone of what was going on and made sure that everyone knew that there would not be a school board meeting that night. We were then able to see the students perform a few fantastic songs from Annie. After that was done, it was said by a few people that since there was no school board meeting, there were some people who wanted to say a few things. It was made very, very clear to all in attendance that this was in no way any sort of official meeting. It was residents talking, since we were already gathered together. A few of us were able to speak before police officers told us all we had to leave. Since then, it has come to light that the board's attorney, I don't want to say your name, I don't want to get in trouble, called the police and stated that there was an illegal union meeting being held. The police did their due duty by trying to break up the crowd. People, of course, had obligations, but none of those obligations were disrupted in any way. The superintendent returned to the room and asked us all to please leave. The room then cleared out calmly and quietly. I'm telling you all of this story because 4 of you were not here and are making choices based off of what I believe to be lies of one individual. A person who is supposed to defend the truth and uphold the law. Our own school board president stated that same crowd was unsafe in a recent email, as he made a choice on a facility request put in by a parents group. Presumably, this choice was based off of said lawyer's false report back to the missing board members. The board vice president also weighed in on the same facility request, and it was presumably a no based off of the same information. Ms. Iwanio seems to use social media to make her choices on board votes, and Mr. Kowalski stated, I heard very bad things happen. Keyword here is heard, and from whom? The district council is a person that is supposed to be protecting this district and its staff. And who exactly is she protecting this district from? Because from our point of view, and our opinion, is that she's protecting the majority 4 from people who want answers. And not to mention, now the overused use of attorney-client privileges for further blocking of transparency. Check out the most recent bills to see. The lawyer, at a minimum, and possibly the law firm, in my opinion, have no interest in protecting this district and was a key participant in limiting our constitutional rights. She filed an inaccurate police report as a means to an end, and in my opinion, that end was to keep the residents of this community silent, to not allow us to share our concerns and feelings as residents. Based off of my beliefs, last week's meeting was 100% orchestrated, well, 90% orchestrated. For God only knows what reason. I have since FOIA requested all emails, text messages, and phone calls of our board president during that meeting. This is a FOIA request I believe will never be answered. People in this position don't share information unless they have something to hide. Thank you very much.
Diane Morioka.
Hi, Diane Morioka, 4257 Wesley Terrace. So there's some things I'd like to address about last week, Wednesday also. The board was supposed to be here last week to vote on contracts, resignations, and paying the bills last week. Because of their antics last week, not only was the special performance that was put on by our Washington students missed, which was done just for the board, it also affected students in the classroom. I know for a fact that one of the bills that was to be paid last week was for our music department. Because this bill is not paid, an account Ms. Olson was using to help prepare our students who were selected for the solo and ensemble contest at Willow Springs School this past Saturday was left with Ms. Olson finding a subpar alternative to help the kids with practice because her account was deactivated. I know this because my child was one of the students selected to attend the solo. So it directly affected the children in the classroom. Also, because she didn't show up for the meeting last week, we had to schedule this emergency meeting today. I'm missing our band students performing at the Wolves game tonight. I felt it was extremely important to be at this meeting tonight, so I did explain to Ms. Olson and my son why I couldn't be there this year. Was that the board's fault? I think indirectly, yeah, it was. Another thing I want to address is the actions of the attorney and how out of line she was last week. She shouldn't have been here, and I sure hope we don't see any charges from her on our building. Some of you may know that the police are always present at our meetings now. We never had this prior to the board. But someone went up to the officers last week claiming they were a board representative and misinformed them that an illegal union meeting was being conducted and that everyone had to be removed from the building. So I'm going to read the police report. RO was advised by SPPD's dispatch the following. Reserve Officer R. Santana, number 229, was assigned to Lincoln Middle School to keep watch at the school board meeting. Officer Santana called dispatch requesting the watch commander to his location because he was asked by a school board representative to clear the meeting of all parents. RO arrived on scene and was met by a woman who identified herself as the attorney for the school board. The attorney advised RO that the school board was not able to convene, and subsequently the parents were holding a quote-unquote illegal union meeting without the permission of the board to use the facility at this time. The attorney wanted the union meeting interrupted and the members dispersed immediately. RO asked several times what union was holding a meeting. The attorney was evasive and would not give RO an answer. RO entered the meeting room and learned that the attendees, who were originally there for a school board meeting, remained in the meeting room to discuss the current state of the school district. There was no organized meeting in progress. At this time, the school board attorney returned in the meeting room with Dr. Porcheski, the school district superintendent. Dr. Porcheski addressed the attendees and asked them to vacate the room, which they did without incident. So, really, an illegal union meeting? It was a group of parents, citizens, teachers, just discussing about our district. It was a complete waste of time for our village resources. And is the attorney legally allowed to speak on behalf of the board?
There were no board members here.
No? She did. So I attended the village board meeting last week along with some other parents. This was brought up during the meeting by the police chief. I'd like to thank Pitch Krasinski and Jen Yarnell for speaking out at that meeting, pointing out how ludicrous it was for that call. We understood the officers did exactly as they were to do, but nonetheless should never have been called in the first place. We had every right to be here. In fact, the ABC parent group had an approved facility request. Shame on us for not being able to produce it that night, but we do have it if anybody wants to see it. We're not liars, nor are we doing anything illegal as the attorney claimed. We are parents and citizens who care about what's going on in our village. We will stand up for our kids in this village. I'm not worried about the amount of money that's going to our schools for my property taxes, as long as it's used wisely. Spending $80,000 on lawyers is not wisely, and I do have a problem with that. But other than that, I'm happy to pay my taxes if I know it will improve our district, which in turn can only improve our village. Our teachers and admins are helping raise our children. Our kids are with them 7 to 8 hours a day. I want to be able to know the teachers and admins as I do now. I want to have a rapport with them and know that I can trust them with my children. I also want to be able to know I or my children can go to an admin, principal, or superintendent if they're having an issue with a teacher, as it's happened in the past, or anyone else in the district. And to know that they will act on the situation and take the necessary precautions or actions as needed. Bringing new people into our district, I won't have that security. My oldest is 24 years old, so I have been in this district for some time now. I know a lot of people in the schools, from custodians to the superintendent. I have a friendship with a lot of them, and I feel safe sending my children to school every day. From the very beginning, when my oldest started school, I made it a point to get to know everyone I could. I was involved when I could be, and I still am today. I want the teachers to know that if there was an issue with my children, they have no worries coming to me to help me work out the situation. For those of you who do not want to renew the contracts, we have outstanding staff members, and maybe because some of you don't have children in our district or don't volunteer to help out, you have no clue what goes on behind the scenes. You're supposed to be here for our children, prove it. Leave our staff alone.
Looks like Jordan Lynn.
He's a teacher in our district.
My name is Jordan Lima, and I work here at Lincoln as a paraprofessional. I'm speaking tonight on behalf of Mr. Brian Amsler and Ms. Tina Sauber. I, like many others here tonight, am a product of this amazing school district. I came through the school system, and I am here today as an example of what having exceptional leadership means to a community and its school. Bob Amsler gave me the opportunity to become part of this staff, which has become like a second family to me, and I am truly grateful. The two of them have always encouraged me ever since I was a student here at Lincoln. Bob was one of my teachers, and I love coming to school each day.
I had her as my first period teacher. She not only made learning fun, but there was never a day that I came to school where I didn't feel cared for, appreciated, and genuinely inspired. She has amazing ability to make you feel like you're the most important person in the world, which I am. She still encourages me every day to continue to grow academically and personally. Her remarkable leadership is the foundation of this building. Mr. Ansler is one of the most genuine and kind individuals I have ever met. He has never stopped trying to encourage me to become a better person and employee. One of my most vivid memories of Ansler is when he was my volleyball coach. I recall him fighting for a point he believed our team earned. It was on the line. While this may come across as irrelevant to you, my point is this. Anyone who has truly taken the time to get to know him can tell you that Brian Ansler is a man who stands up for what he believes in, especially when it comes to making decisions he feels are in the best interest of our children. This is just one of the many qualities I respect about him. As I continue to grow both professionally and personally, I've come to realize the importance of the quality of leadership. I've also come to know the importance of surrounding yourself with responsible people who encourage and inspire you to do better than you ever thought you could be. Brian Ansler and Tina Stavro live by that example. They inspire me to be better. They inspire me to do better. I know they have inspired many others just like me, and that is what this community needs in its school. As a Schiller Park community member, I felt it was important for this board to know how special these two genuinely are and how important it is to keep them in our school. Thank you.
Ms. Ortega.
My name is Alina Ortega, and I am speaking on behalf of the SPEA and the staff of Lincoln Middle School, including paraprofessionals, cafeteria staff, custodians, secretarial staff, and our district's bus drivers. We are standing here before you today to express our deep concern about the continued unnecessary delay regarding the renewal of our administrators' contracts. Since the time Tina Stavro and Brian Ansler took over as leadership for Lincoln, this school has been taken in such a positive direction that administrators from other districts come to visit in order to gain ideas in an effort to improve their very own school communities. As a staff, we have become a family, and we stand before you today as individuals who share a multitude of personal experiences that demonstrate the commitment and passion that our administrators have for this community, its parents, and most importantly, its children. Our administrators are two of the most dedicated people that we have had the pleasure and quite frankly the honor to work with. What makes them exceptional leaders is their ability to work collaboratively with their staff in order to reach one common goal, the success of this community's children. They appreciate the diversity that this entire staff is comprised of and have always and continue to treat this staff with love, kindness, and above all, respect. They still hold us to a high standard of excellence because they believe that that is what our students deserve. One of the most honorable characteristics of Ms. Stavro and Mr. Ansler is that day in and day out, we as a staff see how much devotion they have for this school. Most impressive, however, is the unconditional love and support they give to our students. Given their indisputable record of excellence and service to this community, it is becoming increasingly more disheartening and difficult for this staff to comprehend why this board continues to make the conscious choice to delay the renewal of their contracts. We are here to say that it is time for this board to do what is right. By making the ethical and honorable decision to give these two administrators the contract that they not only have earned through their hard work and dedication, but that they also genuinely deserve. The time has come to do the right thing. Thank you.
Mary Jo.
Mary Jo Jones, 10,000 Montrose, Schiller Park, Illinois. Apologize for my voice. I have laryngitis for cheering on our 6th, 7th, 8th grade girls yesterday. And of course, by two amazing women, Miss Abort and Miss Hiller. As a community member, parent, former students of District 81, and an employee, I would like to speak on behalf of the current administration in Lincoln Middle School, Ms. Stavro and Mr. Ansler. They have been a part of the school community since I started working here 15 years ago. In this time, I have come to know their commitment to Lincoln, its staff, students, and parents. Their strong work ethic, their dedication to success, and their ability to build relationships with students, staff, and parents, and what we all admire. The school community looks to these two individuals for guidance. They are extraordinary people who will do anything to go the extra mile to help staff members or a student. They are constantly available and welcoming to all who need them. Lincoln has changed so much over the years that I've been here. It's gone from having a very little direction to having a staff that feels cared for, feels empowered, and feels at home because they have a good administration. I'm sorry. They allow the people below them to shine and take ownership. They foster an environment that allows collaboration and open dialogue. This climate not only efforts the staff, but has a profound impact on the students in our district. Lincoln's sense of community is a direct result of Ms. Stavro and Mr. Ansler's hard work and strong focus. Their efforts have produced high-quality results time and time again. They have demonstrated a strong dedication to this school community. They lead by example, and this is what has inspired and motivated many students walking in and out of this building every day. I have come to know these two individuals very well, and I feel strongly that not only have they excelled as leaders, but they have shown exemplified strong moral fiber and character. They constantly demonstrate the ability to lead and have always displayed a high degree of integrity, responsibility, and ambition. In my opinion, it is Ms. Stavro and Mr. Ansler's unwavering devotion to this school that have made Lincoln what it is today, a home for many of our students and as well as staff. So I applaud them.
Hi, Carol Glanian, 4061 Westlake Terrace. You know, I've already heard one or two comments this evening about lowering property taxes. People upset about the property taxes going up. Well, I don't understand why the people in this room, a lot of them, do not understand that the taxes cannot and will not go down if the budget continues to go up. Most of our property taxes go towards the school. This recent levy, a lot of residents are going to be in for a shock when they get their tax bills coming in because it's going up. Now, the person who said that she would gladly pay her taxes no matter, I think it was how high,
She can take my property taxes from this point on, anything that goes up, and she can pay mine, because I can't afford to continue to pay. I let you speak. I can't afford to continue to pay these taxes that keep going up and up and up. Now, we have said this, my husband and I don't know how many meetings, the average salary in Schiller Park, the average household, look it up, is between $38,000 and $39,000 a year. Now, my neighbor doesn't even make that, and her property taxes are $8,000 for a single-family, little tiny house. Now, she cannot afford that. That is ridiculous. Now, anyone in this room that's upset with this board right now, the new board, I'm upset with both boards, to be honest with you, because this last budget that was passed is the reason why our taxes are going to go up, because this high levy that just got passed. So I'm not happy with either board. And the employees in the room should be happy because you all got what you want. I don't even know why you're upset with this board, because they're giving everything you want. The taxpayer, you guys are supposed to be representing the taxpayers here. The teachers have their union, they have their own representation, but the taxpayer doesn't. It's really sad that a lot of the people in this room have something to get out of what's going on here. I have nothing to get out of anything that goes on here, except to be taxed to death. But a lot of taxpayers are not paying attention in this community. They do not go to these meetings. And anyone who said they're going to go I'll go to door to door. Let me wait until people get their tax bill, and then I'll go to door to door. We'll see how upset the average person is. Half of the people on my street are on disability. I don't know who you think are going to be able to keep affording these taxes. I don't plan on living in this community until I die. At a certain point, I'm going to get out of here, and you guys are going to be stuck with this high bill and all these pensions to pay, not me. I'm glad. You know what? I said nothing when you all spoke. This is the problem with these meetings. I've been attending now, and you all think this board you're so upset with? I came here a few years ago, and the board is so rude, they would not answer. Be quiet, please. They would not answer a question. I never got one question answered in the 3 years I've been coming. And you teachers, you talk about bullying, but I feel like I'm being bullied right now. I'm a resident and I pay the taxes here, and you have a right to speak. Yes, I do. And anyone who wants to pay these taxes, I went online. You want to look what's happening in California? There's a town right outside of San Jose. You know how much the superintendent is getting paid right now? He's taking care of 6,500 children. He's getting $660,000 a year. You don't think that can happen here?
You have a teacher on your board making $140,000.
Yes, and I don't think that's right either.
Okay.
I don't agree with that.
Tell her. You have a board member that makes $140,000.
Please.
To be honest with you, since I've been coming, I actually think the superintendent instigates a lot of this. And I would be happy to pay. I think you're a big problem. This is a huge problem in this village. This village is being divided, and it's getting ugly. And I don't know what happened last week, because I left as soon as I knew that the meeting was not going to go as planned.
You don't want to, let's everybody be cool, please.
No one wants to hear anybody speak. This whole room is all united, and it's like all of you against one person. You think it's easy to stand up here like this?
Lana,
You're the only person?
Please.
It's not easy to get up here and be in the minority and then be bullied by teachers who are supposed to be against bullying. Now, if you people want to pay the taxes, and anybody who doesn't live in this community is not paying the taxes, doesn't have a right to talk about the high property taxes. These taxes are getting out of control. And something needs to be done. When you have the people that work in this district making more than the average household income, there is a problem. Now, I will gladly leave my tax bill if anybody wants to pay it. Because after all, it's for the children and it's never enough, is it? Again, I say the teachers have a union to represent them. The taxpayer doesn't. It's supposed to be the board, which is supposed to represent the taxpayers. Thank you.
Thank you. Natalie?
Good evening. My name is Natalie Vargas. I'm the reading specialist at Kennedy School. On behalf of SPEA, it is my privilege this evening to stand here tonight on behalf of Dr. Kim Borshesky. This evening moment should be relived and reflections can be made as we think about how District 81 has evolved over the years because of her. Our tenacious diplomatic leader has made the vision that District 81 always believed in become a reality. I have had the honor to be mentored by and to work alongside Dr. Borshesky for a number of years. I can speak firsthand of her talent, her work ethic, and her undivided commitment to the students of District 81. Her courage is contagious. Her passion to learn is innate, while her resolve to be fearless when children's best interests are at stake. Her vibrant personality flourishes throughout District 81. And to quote Kim, teaching is not always about what the textbook says, but rather what the children need. She would go to any extreme for the success and state of a child. 10 years ago, Dr. Borshesky's strong beliefs that all children can learn began our reading instruction in the primary building with our reading room. Thanks to her support and willingness to take risks, our coveted reading room was born, and results came with radical improvements to Kennedy's literacy scores. Others have tried to emulate this success as well. Today, our reading room model is district-wide best practice. Her leadership in curriculum and instruction only began to soar with that example. She is able to design and implement instruction that gave District 81 students stellar learning experiences. She continues to raise the bar while setting high goals that she believes our students would achieve. Data trends from 2005 only show upscale growth from District 81 when her administration took place at Kennedy School. She is innovative. She pilots contemporary technology. Her tenacity to grow, believe, and achieve is admirable. She's an inclusive leader. She inspires a collaborative and engaged culture among her staff. And she has the courage and passion to take risks. And she inspires those around her to do the same. District 81 is blessed to have this visionary leader that we have. And as a mother of 3 children, I have benefited greatly by witnessing Kim's ability to balance both her devotion to her family, her supportive husband Bob and her 3 beautiful children, as well as her extended family here at School District 81. To hold one family close to your heart, let alone 2, as Dr. Borshesky does daily, is an accomplishment within itself. And as Eleanor Roosevelt says, you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. And you must do the thing that you think you cannot do. And this, my fellow board members and residents of Schiller Park, is Dr. Kimberly Borshesky.
Okay, principal reports and enrollment reports. Any questions or comments?
I would like to say something about the principal reports. I just want to say that Dr. Seuss night yesterday was an incredible experience. My girls loved it. And Dr. Maglino, Miss Maglino and Miss Carson, my husband came to me and said, how does the principals know every student's name? So congratulations to you guys. That's really cool.
because they love every student.
I had a very enjoyable time reading, and it was great to get to know Mr. Norte a little bit better. He's very fun to read with.
I just have one thing I'd like to say. I was also there, and I thought it was great. And I would like to ask Cindy if she knew how many pieces of cake were served, because that's how we base how many children showed up. We used to get a report, and we don't anymore. Do you have a count? Okay.
768, I think you like that.
Wow.
768.
768.
I'd like to state that I have now put that cake.
Wow, that's amazing. It was a lot of fun. I'd also like to say, on behalf of those of us who attended last night, we were so impressed. It's absolutely amazing. And just a real quick story, we had a little girl reading, and my husband was she was helping my husband read. She got to the word stupid and would not say it. So, thank you very much. The kids are learning from us.
This is such a team effort, so I want to thank the union. Bonnie Bricker and Rose Karras stepped up with a huge leadership role, and an event like last night really wouldn't take place if it wasn't for everyone joining together. So we thank the teachers, we thank all the volunteers, all the parents and children that came out. That's what makes this an amazing event. We couldn't have done it without everyone's help. So thank you.
Okay, old business. No old business on the agenda. New business, information, strategic planning.
So our calendar has been adjusted a bit. That information's in your packet. Jeff Cohn is no longer with the School Board Association. And no, he's not. He's gone off on his own. And he's actually going to come and present to you under his new title. He's working with a firm called Grade Dialogue, which is actually his firm, so he's developing his own brand.
That's nice for him.
But I want to talk to you a little bit about the change in our calendar. At the March board meeting, we're going to have the Consortium for Educational Change come out. Mark Van Clay will be here to present to the board. At the April meeting, I've secured the Illinois Association of School Boards. Laurel DePrima will be here to present to the board. An overview from the School Board Association. And then pushing back to at the May meeting, we'll have Jeff come out and he'll present to the board strategic planning with Grade Dialogue, which means that the board will just push back a month and have a special meeting in June to make a decision as far as which consultant you'd like to go with to help you with strategic planning.
Okay, cafeteria report.
Are there any questions in regards to the cafeteria report that's being included into your board package? There weren't many changes from year to year. It looks like other than the revenue and the expenditures, that actually did increase, but the actual relative terms from last year to this year is about the same. It's still a deficit. Last year's deficit was about $24,000. This year's deficit is about $30,000.
We're not going to hear from the cafeteria staff to report to us like we used to?
We haven't done that in a couple of years.
Jeremy?
If there are any questions.
Any questions? Okay, new board policy, first reading. School bus driver drug and alcohol policy and procedure. Any questions or comments on new business information?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about the new policy. It says on here it's the final policy. What does that mean? The name of the title is final.
I thought it says first reading.
Read the title of the policy.
Word,
And it says final.
The policy that was included in your packet that came to us at the top, I believe, is what Marianne's referring to.
It's the policy itself.
It was not printed.
No, it's in board books.
It's in board books. And we're changing this, we're changing our current policy to this. This is our first reading. I know we have 2 more. So we will have 2 more.
No. Yes.
Weren't we advised by Ansel and Link that there was no need for this policy? Because if there is any question of anyone involved in a traffic accident seeming to be faulty, that the police would suggest a drug test? And they would be bound to take this drug test due to the fact that they were in this accident?
No. I thought Dr. Borchowski said.
No, Dr. Olszewski never said that. Ansel Blank provided a memo back in May, I think it was, regarding drug testing. And I think that may be the memo that Rich is referencing.
No, I don't know.
I think it was resent to us.
It's in your first class email.
I think it was like a 5-page memo that restated school code stating when drug testing will be administered by school code. It was referenced to our old policy. So our old policy kind of was general, and then there's reference to school code, and that memo kind of explained it a little bit further in more detail.
Well, there was a question that was posed to Ansel Blank about whether or not it was necessary to send drivers for bus testing, for drug testing after an accident, is what prompted that memo. So I had to reach out to Ansel Blank, and that was the response to a question about drug testing back in May.
So I think that this proposed policy was an effort to have better control. Right, and not to leave that to other agencies, but to have more control.
Just not the random testing, it's always about the whole. Any other questions? Action. 1, approval of the PMA Financial Plan Consulting Agreement. I would like to entertain a motion that the Board of Education approve the PMA Financial Planning Consulting Agreement as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Rich,
I'll second.
second by Pat. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Downs?
Yes.
Kawani, yes. Flanagan?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Kowalski?
Yes.
Statura?
Yes.
Dysaki?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, motion passed. Approval of agreement between Crow Horwath LLP and School District 81 for the year ending June 30th, 2014. I'd like to entertain a motion that the Board of Education approve the agreement between Crow Horwath LLP and School District 81 for the year ending June 30th, 2014, as presented. Any questions?
I motion.
All right, Flanagan, and I'll second. Downs?
Yes.
Kawani, yes. Flanagan?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Kowalski?
Yes.
Statura?
Yes.
And Dysaki?
Yes.
Appoint a Board Finance Committee. I would like to entertain a motion that the Board of Education appoint the following members to the Board Finance Committee. Do we have any volunteers?
I'll volunteer.
Mary Ann? Tina?
I'll volunteer.
Rich?
How many do we need?
Do we not know how many?
I believe it's here.
It can't be 4.
Do we want to ask anyone in the audience?
Sure, why not?
Any residents would join to get
I
out of the
think that's a
meeting?
great idea.
Think 2 maybe? 2 okay?
We have one in the back. Diane, Cheryl, Diane.
Okay.
Couple of Dianes.
Thank you.
Who wants to chair it?
Oh, I hate you. I'll chair it.
You know what, Rich? We'll let you guys work it out between yourselves.
Oh, thank you, Ian. So I'm gonna make them do it.
Okay, so we have.
Dave, next item is executive session. What? The next item on the agenda is executive session. I'd just like to say something before we go to executive session, because I don't know if everyone's going to stick around in the room. But this Sunday, right here in this room, is the Music Boosters Pancake Breakfast. And support the music program here at School District 81. I was about to limit it to Lincoln, but no, it's so much bigger than that. I'm sorry? No. You'll have to fill out a sheet of paper.
Hey, Rich, you done promoting the pancakes?
Yes, I am totally done promoting the pancakes, except to say the pancakes are delicious.
How about how many years we've been having this baby?
12. Charge 12.
That's 12 years of awesome pancakes.
Oh, I know.
I've just been reminded to mention that the time of the pancake breakfast is 9 a.m. The time is 9 a.m. 9 until people leave. $5. 9 o'clock till noon. There's going to be prizes.
By the way, we have to say something when we come back from closed session.
Yes, I'm done, Dave.
Executive session.
Let's keep you here.
I would like to entertain a motion in the Board of Education adjourn to executive session at
8:33.
8:33 p.m. to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the public body or against legal counsel or the public body to determine its validity. Litigation when the action against affecting or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal or imminent, in which case the basis for the findings shall be recorded and entered to the minutes of the closed meeting. We have a motion.
I'll move.
Moved by Tina.
Second.
Second by Pat. Call the roll, please.
Downs. Yes. Kavani, yes. Flanagan.
Yes.
Gashewski.
Yes.
Kowalski. Statura.
Yes.
Dasaki.
Yes.
Can I have it? Thank you.
I would like to entertain a motion that the Board of Education convene for an executive session at 10:50 PM. Are there any objections? No objections, that's good. I would like to entertain a motion that the Board of Education adjourn from executive session.
Do you want to see the Board of Education reconvene the special meeting? We did all that.
All right, okay, it's been a rough night. I would like to entertain a motion that the Board of Education reconvene a special board meeting on February 28th at 10:50 PM.
I move. Second.
Tina and Pat.
Downs?
Yes.
Kawhi, yes. Flanagan?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Kowalski?
Yes.
Statura?
Yes.
Tasaki?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, approval of hired classified staff. I would like to entertain a motion that the Board of Education approve the hiring of the following classified staff for the remainder of the 2013-14 school year. Yolanda San Diego, part-time cafeteria at Washington School, effective February 11, 2014, and Wendy Castro, office aide at Lincoln School, effective February 18th.
I'll move.
Moved by Tina,
Second.
second by Rich. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Downs?
Yes.
Kawhi, yes. Flanagan?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Kowalski?
Yes.
Statura?
Yes.
Tasaki?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Approval of administrators' contracts. I would like to entertain a motion. Oh, okay, you got this.
I would like to make a motion that the Board of Education approve the extension of administrator contracts for Lincoln Middle School Principal, Washington School Principal, Lincoln Middle School Assistant Principal, and Kennedy School Assistant Principal as amended in executive session. Is there a second?
I second.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Downs?
Yes.
Kawhi, yes. Flanagan?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Kowalski?
Yes.
Statura?
Yes.
And Tasaki?
Yes.
Motion passes. Up applause. Approval of classified leave of absence. I would like to entertain a motion that the Board of Education approve the leave of absence for the Secretary of Washington School effective February 18th through June 20th, 2014.
I'll move.
Tina?
Second.
Pat? Any questions? Call the roll.
Downs?
Yes.
Kawhi, yes. Flanagan?
Yes, sorry.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Kowalski?
Yes.
Statura?
Yes.
Tasaki?
Accept the resignation of certified staff. I would like to entertain a motion that the Board of Education accept the resignation of the following certified staff. Barbara Poling, reading room teacher at Washington School, effective February 26, 2014. I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second by Rich. Any questions? Call the roll, please. Back to.
I'll move.
Okay.
Need a second?
I thought we already did that.
Just a second.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
Me and Rich.
Sorry.
Motion, Rich, for a second.
You made the motion, or should be the second? Sorry about that. Downs?
Yes, I'm very sad to see Barb Foley leave.
So are we.
She was an excellent teacher in this district.
Kawhi, yes. Flanagan?
Yes, and I agree, she will be missed by all.
Kaczynski?
Yes, and I will agree with my colleagues on the board. She will be missed.
She said that she agreed that she will be missed. Kowalski?
Yes.
Statura?
Yes, and I agree with the rest of the board.
And Tasaki?
Yes, and I also agree she will be sorely missed.
I would like to entertain a motion that the Board of Education accept the resignation of the following certified staff: Alicia Langford, special education teacher at Lincoln Middle School, effective the end of the 2013-14 school term. Motion. Tina Pass. Any questions?
Downs? Yes. Kalani, yes. Flanagan?
Yes.
Kaczynski? Kowalski?
Yes.
Statura?
Yes.
Zaseki?
I would like to entertain a motion that the Board of Education adjourn the special meeting of February 28, 2014, at 10:56 p.m. Woke up, second? Second.
Downs? Yes. Kalani, yes. Flanagan?
Yes.
Kaczynski? Yes. Kowalski? Statura? And Zaseki. Thank you all for coming. Meeting's adjourned.
See you next month.